Alright, so we got our one spacer done. Hey everybody, welcome back. Sunday in the shop. I'm going to try to finish up our brake rotor spacers. So last week we started these. I had some time during the week to bore out the center, and now we're going to set up on our rotary table on our mill and put our bolt pattern in, and then we'll be ready to bolt the rotors to the wheels and continue on getting our brake calipers spaced and all that stuff. So it's hot as hell in here today, so we'll see how much I can get done, but we're gonna get to work. So we got our stuff set up in our rotary table. I got it all dialed in, and we got to put a 5-bolt pattern in here, so it'll be every 72 degrees, and we're gonna get rolling here. All right, so we got our 5-spot drills in there. I'm gonna sit the rotor on here. Just get an eyeball check. Everything looks cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill these now for 8mm. Alright, next thing we got to do here is ream the holes out to 10mm for our dowel pins. That's going to help even more accurately locate our brake rotors and the spacer on the wheel. So we got our 8mm holes. We are going to ream these just over a 1/4 inch deep, 290 thousandths, and that will leave us just a little bit of stick up on our dowel pin here to locate the brake rotor. Alright, so we got our one spacer done. Fits our brake rotors. Holes look like they line up very nicely. So we'll do this other one and then head in and fit all this to the wheel. Alright guys, so we got our pieces all cut. I'm going to go ahead and start putting these rotors and rims together. And then we can look at our brake caliper. So we get a couple dowel pins on here.
Up. So I left yesterday and I'm riding, I'm hearing a noise. Like tink, 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 tink. Thinking maybe it's my caliper dragging or something, right?
Yeah.
Check it, everything's fine. Go home, go to a buddy's house. Made a left turn out here. Tink, tink, tink. Something fell.
Something dragging?
Get to my buddy's house. I can't find nothing fucking loose or hanging up or missing.
Yeah.
So we go up for a ride, and we went to Two Georges. I'm turning into there, and my one engine cover fell off.
Oh,
right
the little,
my foot and my shifter.
The little chrome cover thing?
No, the fin covers.
Oh!
Oh, I fucking bought it. Oh my god, son of a bitch. That's in his saddlebag. And then my floorboards are loosening it up. I'm like, after a long ride, I figured she...
Yeah.
Because she vibrates a lot more now.
All right, we got our rotors on. We got our spacers in. Sadly, with these rotor spacers, you don't get to see how cool the wheel spacers are, but you know, stuff happens. So. Alright, got our front end in. Next thing we got to do now is check out our brake caliper mounts. I know we're going to need to make some spacers. At least I think we are. So, yeah, we've got... Oh, look at that. I'm wrong. We don't. These look like they clear the brake rotors perfectly. Check in here. Our center spacing is, I mean, really spot on. I'll see if I can move the camera around here in a minute. And we got our other brake caliper over here. I don't have any bolts. I'm gonna have to let me take one of these out so it just doesn't fall off. I only had one set of bolts. I bought the calipers separately, and one came with bolts and one didn't. So alright, see if I can find a little string or something here. We'll tie off this front end to the toolbox on the wall, hold it up so we can get some good shots of it. Alright, so we got our front end here strung up just kind of where I thought it looked good. Let's see what we got for... That is 10, 20, that's only 24. I think, let's see here what we got. 10, 20, yeah, it's like 25 degrees a rake. So it'll actually end up lean back a little bit more. You know, I think we're going to go like 29 degrees. And then we'll get into this in more detail. But what I do is, to figure out the frame geometry now, I measure up from here. So this is 29 inches from the bottom of the neck. Then we subtract from that the ground clearance we want, which we're going to keep this bike super low, probably like 3.5 inches. And then we'll set our frame jig with the neck at, say, 26 inches overall height. We set our rear axle plates to do the same based on the dimensions of the rear tire. And then we build our frame all around. So obviously this is not going to be a real tall bike. The tank is probably going to be the tallest part of the whole thing. Just for reference, this crazy 750 chopper here that you're looking at in the back of this, the bottom of the neck is 41 inches, but this is like super severe. So this can be a nice tight bobber. I'm super excited about this whole entire contraption I got going here with the front end that we made years and years ago and never got to use. So really looking forward to getting a frame for this thing, and I think it's going to just be a really super incredible bike. So anyway, that's about all the energy I got in me for this Sunday. So we're going to probably wrap this up and get out of here. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap. Appreciate you guys always watching and following along with us. I hope you're enjoying checking out this bike as much as I am. I really think it's pretty cool. Something super unique, which is always kind of what I strive for. I've never done anything that's going to just be like fully aluminum like this. I mean, no, nothing even close. So really super pumped on it. It's going to be really like 100% handmade, minus, you know, a few of the hard parts, the brake rotors, the calipers and stuff we're not hand making, but full handmade front end. We didn't hand make the tank, but somebody did. You know, we're going to do some collaboration stuff like that. So yeah, that's where we're at. All we had for cost this week, let me pull up what we had last week. I almost forgot about doing that, honestly, but we had already had all the material and everything, so it was really just the time today, which is, let's see what time it is. It's 12:30, so spent 2 hours today, so that's another another $280. Let me think, is there anything else that we didn't have accounted for? No, I don't think so. Just, we had the aluminum spacer material and all that stuff accounted for last week. So, I'm just trying to find last week's video so I can look in the description and give you guys a update. Sorry, I'm dragging out. I wasn't thinking and didn't remember to pre-calculate all this stuff. So you guys will just have to bear with me for a second if you care. If not, you've probably already turned off this video. So, okay, so yeah, last week we had calculated the bolts and the rotors and all that stuff. So our weekly total for this week is only $280, and that brings our grand total 55, 280 plus 55, 37. That brings our grand total to 58.17, and whatever the change is, 30 something cents, I think. So anyway, not a tremendous amount of progress, I guess, for our week's work, machining some brake rotor spacers, but they were a pretty intricate part, required numerous setups and several operations, and they came out absolutely perfectly, so I'm super pumped on them. And that's it. I'm going to quit yammering. I'm sure you guys have quit listening already. As always, appreciate you guys. Let us know in the comments what you think of this bike. Let us know in the comments what you want to see in the future. Love to do a question and answer thing if that's something people are interested in, if there's stuff I'm not sharing that you'd like to know. And we hope to see you next time at Gaddy's Garage.